All right, got Tennessee this week. Ooh, that's loud. Got Tennessee this week. Coming off a game where, felt like we left a lot out there, whether it was from an execution or a detail standpoint, just felt like we missed some opportunities out there on the field. But never once did I question our kids' effort or their physicality or their will to win, and even with everything that kind of happened in the game, still had an opportunity there late to go tie it up, and didn't get done. So just got to be more detailed at practice, get after it, and move forward. And because we got a good team that we're going to be playing this week, traveling to Tennessee. So with that, I will take some questions.
Start here on the left side, Tennessee. Yeah, Ben, we saw Deion Burks earlier in the year have some really good production. Maybe over the last 3 or 4 weeks, just the production hasn't been there as much. Just where is he at in this offense, and how do you guys kind of maybe get him more involved?
Yeah, Deion's a talented kid who's been, honestly probably had the best 2 weeks consistently of practice from a technical standpoint and a straining to finish standpoint. And it showed up in the game too, whenever you look at him away from the ball, sprinting to the ball, trying to pick up a block, and always just trying to be in position if something, were to go awry. Deion's a talented kid, just finding ways to get him the ball out in space and operational space, because, he has the ability just with his quick twitch and his speed to catch and go and outrun somebody, So just got to keep on working with him. And, there's times in that game where, the ball probably should have found him a time or two. And for one reason or another, it didn't whenever we were out there. But Deion's been really consistent out at practice. So I'm really proud of the way that he's been attacking practice and getting after it.
Ben, we talked to John last night, took a lot of ownership for everything that happened on Saturday. Just, I'm not saying like his confidence dipping, but how you keep him positive, and is that like one of the first times where you've seen him just look like little out of sorts compared to what you normally see?
Yeah, it's no secret, and John said it. He didn't play his best ball, but I don't think that's all on John. Where there are moments where you'd like for him to be on point and deliver the ball where it needs to, or make the toss whenever he needs to. Absolutely, but I also look at myself in the mirror whenever that happens. What did I not do throughout the week to get connected in that? And so John knows that he has to play better, but I don't think in any way, shape, or form his confidence is just shaken. He didn't play his best. He knows that. I know that. We all know that. He didn't play his best, but the way that he came in Sunday and came in Monday and owned the mistakes that he had. I mean, he didn't try to make excuses for things. He didn't do that. He just owned it and said, I got to be better. And that's the only thing you can do. I mean, looking at myself too, I had to look at myself and say, I got to be better, and so I don't think his confidence is shaken at all. He's a mature kid. He's a tough kid. And just how he's been Sunday and Monday with our walkthrough practice yesterday, he was really, really good. And so excited to see him throughout this week of work and excited to see him play on Saturday.
Yeah. Xavier Robinson had a real stellar game, especially that third quarter. How significant is it to have him rolling, and will we see a lot of him in the future?
Yeah, I mean, you'll definitely see X out there. And I thought he gave a real spark to the entire team, to the entire stadium, just being tough to tackle, being physical, being violent, and popping off that big run. That was huge for the momentum of the game. And you look on that play, Isaiah Centania and Giovanni Gibson are straining downfield, picking up those key blocks for him after he, made an unbelievable play in the hole to bounce it out and get out there. But just the way that he has been running consistently, physically, running through trash, breaking arm tackles, and being tough to take down. It's awesome. It's the player that he is. He's big. He's strong. I mean, y'all saw he's pretty fast, too. He's talented. And so I'm excited to keep on getting X going.
Let's go right side, second row, Tom. Yeah, Ben, after the game, I think Fabeshi said that Ryan Foje hadn't really worked at tackle until late in the week last week. Now that you've had time to watch his performance, just what did you make of his first start at right tackle, and what's that say about him that
he can just seamlessly kind of move over to that right side, even though I know you played there in high school.
Proud as can be of Ryan stepping in, going to that position. He had a great week of practice. Throughout practice would make your typical freshman mistake, but I mean, just like that, would correct the mistake. And he really played a really good game, was physical, had great communication. Was just awesome. And so I think that's huge for his confidence. I think it says a lot about him as a player and the talent that he has, that he's able to move around, especially at such a young age. And I think it speaks to how intelligent of a kid he is, too, to be able to go out there, pick it up, get what Coach Biedenbow is trying to tell him, and go out there on a big stage and play the way he did. So I'm really proud of Ryan. It says a lot about him, and I'm just excited to see him grow even more.
Next to Tom, Joe.
Yeah, Ben, obviously when you're looking at film, you're evaluating players, but as far as like self-evaluation and sequencing of play calls, everything like that, how do you sort of self-evaluate after a game?
Yeah, I mean, you have to watch it a couple of times. You watch it a couple of times for a few different things. You watch it to, one, see how the flow of the game went. You watch it to see the execution of what you called, and then you watch it to see, would I have done something different in this situation? And I'm pretty sure every coach ever could say, I might do something different in that moment, in that situation. But between myself and our staff, a lot of things we had, if we get in this situation, it's what we're going to go for right here. And it's easy to look at hindsight and say, oh, man, I would have done that. But whenever you go in there with the confidence that we went in there, I felt good about it. There's always self-evaluation that has to happen. But the biggest self-evaluation that I took away from it for my own self and my own perspective is finding ways to make us execute better, make us more detailed, right? And that's not on the kids, that's on me. How can I be better at practice? How can I be better at installing a game plan to leave zero gray area and have maximum clarity? And that happens after a win and a loss. And you always are trying to find ways to get better, always trying to find ways in practice to implement things maybe you struggle at or things that you're good at but you want to get great at. And so that's the biggest part of the self-evaluation piece to me, is how can I have these kids play in such a way that they're going to be successful. And, that's the biggest thing to me.
Same row, Ryan Chapman. With Xavier, you mentioned that he gave the offensive spark. We saw that against Missouri last year at Alabama. I guess what does it take into Game 7, Game 8 to kind of feature him heavily when he's shown that he can do that before in the SEC?
Yeah, I think the season's a whole body of work. I think the year's a whole body of work. And whenever you look at that running back room, throughout spring ball and fall camp and even the early parts of the season, there was a lot of guys doing a lot of really good things. People just see things that happen at the game. But, I think it's all a body of work. And X is a great practice player, but I think we have a lot of good kids on our team who execute at a high level. And so, it was never a question of X can do this or X can't do that. That was never once said, but it's just a whole body of work throughout the year, and X is ultra consistent and been making the plays whenever they come his way and playing tough and physical and being really reliable for us. So just like I said earlier, I can't wait to get him going even more.
Two straight weeks have been tailbacks gone over 100 yards. Do you think you've turned the corner on the running game and found things you can build off of and know that's something you can count on week to week?
I think you can say that there's a lot of stuff to build on, and it all just comes down to a mindset and a certain physicality that you have. And the kids the young men have done a great job of bringing it every week in practice and our inside drill and being intentional with it and taking the field with the intent of we're going to move somebody. So absolutely, it's something that you can build on. It's been nice to get it going a little bit, but it ain't good enough. It's not. We got to keep on getting better at it. It's never going to be good enough. There's always things that we can do better, especially in that department of running the ball as a whole offensive unit. And so it's taking that by the horns and attacking it every single day in practice and watching it show up on game day.
Obviously, Isaiah had 2 really explosive catches for you guys, and then at the end he has a punt return that he probably want to have back. Just how have you seen him kind of respond moving forward from that game in the last couple of days?
I mean, Isaiah is such a mature young man. I mean, you look at it, his dad is a collegiate coach. He's played at this level, at a high level, for a long time. So he understands the game of football. He understands the ebbs and flows of it, and he understands not to let one thing, determine who you are as a player, as a person. He doesn't let single moments beat him twice. He doesn't allow that to happen. And I just think that speaks to the level of maturity that he has as a player, the experience he has. And, he, again, I will say it, he is probably the most consistent person in the building, from taking care of his body to his film studies to his practice habits. He totally is a pro in that department. And, yeah, I'm excited to watch him play on Saturday again.
John talked last night just about how important it is to be disciplined with your eyes, specifically in this offense, and how maybe this offense is a little simpler than others around the country. I was just curious if you could elaborate on that and how maybe you can help him see the field better.
Yeah, I mean, that's the biggest thing, is being disciplined with your eyes and your footwork. Your eyes and your footwork, they win, and that's in any offense. That's, my system, anybody's system. Eyes and footwork at the quarterback position, they always win, and timing wins. But that goes back to your eyes and footwork. And the best way that I can help him is at practice, and it's just demanding it out of him, and demanding perfection. You're never going to get it, but just demanding it. Hey, this drop, be perfect with it. Hey, it's covered over there. Get your eyes off of it quicker. It's fine. Go on to the next one. If it's not there, don't hang on to it trying to make something happen. And that's how I can be better for him, just specifically out at the practice field. But the other way I can be better for him is, again, I'm always instilling confidence in him, always instilling belief in him. And he has no shortage of confidence. He knows that myself and Coach Venables believe in him to the nth degree. But, just reminding him of that, but demanding excellence at practice.
Yeah, the quarterback run game was so effective for you guys early in the season. It hasn't been the last few weeks. Why do you think it hasn't been as effective, and how important is it getting that going again, being a part of this offense?
Yeah, I think a few things go into that. I think maybe one thing could be whether it's the decision-making from John on a certain few things, or it can be just execution in the block itself, But also at the same time, as coaches, we have to continue to find ways to make it effective for them, because it is a tool that can be utilized. I mean, a lot of teams around the country utilize it. It's a tool that can be utilized. We just have to keep on finding ways to make it as successful as possible, put these kids in position to be successful, and play and execute with the detail that requires for any play to work. And so just something that we have to continue demanding, straining on, and get rolling.
Two more, James Jackson and then James Hill. Coach, what have you seen from Tennessee defense on film so far? What have you noticed about them with?
They're a disruptive bunch. I'm pretty sure they lead the league in turnovers, and they're up there at negative plays. I think they're just behind our defense. I mean, they're a disruptive bunch. They do a great job getting you to third down, and they thrive in third down. It's almost this is a no crap statement here, but like, they want to get you to third down, just like any defense does. But I really feel like they feel like that's where their money is made, and they do an awesome job with that. They have 2 defensive ends who are explosive and can give real problems, and then they got guys at the defensive tackle position who just have a great motor, who play hard. So really impressed by what they do there, and but they're a disruptive bunch, and they do a great job with that. So being able to counter that is going to be an awesome challenge for our kids that they're ready to take on. And but yeah, they do a lot of good stuff on defense.
Last time that OU was at Neyland Stadium, we heard how loud it was. 100,000 people are going to be there. So talk about the communication you're going to have, getting the plays off, and how important it's going to be that John can communicate with that crowd get your calls in and things like that.
Yeah, I think it's just a heightened sense of urgency to the communication aspect. In any game, communication is key, but whenever you're somewhere, like Neyland Stadium, where, I mean, it's known across the country to be a unbelievable environment with passionate fans, your communication has to be an urgency, and there's different mechanisms that you can use to do that. I'm not going to just totally get into all of that, but there's different mechanisms that you can use to make sure that the operation is clean and efficient as possible. But it takes discipline from us, from our players, and it takes a heightened sense of urgency to make sure that you run the play clean, efficient, and get it off. And so different mechanisms that you can use, but definitely a priority that we have to be really in tune with. Appreciate y'all. Boomer.